Guys, it's Kate and I hope you're having a wonderful day today. I'm here with a abstract flower painting and I started off again like I did with that last little duck intuitive painting I did. I just added a couple of colors to my page and then used my silicone color shaper tool to just spread it out randomly on the paper and make some marks. And when it dried, there were those three sort of lighter color purple blobs, and I decided to turn those into some abstract flowers. So I went ahead and I'm using a very limited palette today. I have ultramarine blue and deep yellow that I'm mixing together. And those two colors kind of make a dirty green, and it's very dark. And you know, when I mix like a phthalo blue and a yellow, it makes a very bright saturated green, but I wanted something a lot more muted for this one, so I went with ultramarine. And also ultramarine mixed with white makes this really pretty, kind of like a blue lavender color. So I really wanted to keep going with that theme from the background, and so we're gonna get started negative painting around those little shapes. And so if you just grab a brush and go around it sort of loosely and get your flowers sort of blocked in, and they don't need to be very detailed. You can see here they're really just looking like blobs right now. And I leave that corner open with that background color because I really love the texture that it has with those silicone marks in it, and I like the way it dried, so I really wanted to keep part of that in the finished page. But the rest of the paper outside of the flowers is getting a really nice deep dark background that has a green tone to it. Now with this one I'm really working dark to light. And so we're going to get our deepest, darkest shadows in here first. And I think you'll see as we kind of progress through this video and this painting that, you know, kind of building on color on those deep, dark backgrounds, it really makes it have more depth. Even though it's not a complicated painting, I really loved the way this one turned out. So now that I've got my dark background in, I'm going in with a lighter color, and I mix some of that ultramarine to make that gorgeous light blue, light bluish purple. And my black and my green hasn't completely dried yet. You can see a little bit of it smeared, but kind of just adds character to it, so I don't really mind that it did that. And I'm just going around and making some basic petal shapes. So they're all kind of facing upward to the left, and they're going to be kind of on a bed of background leaves. And what I'm doing is I'm kind of going back and forth between my elements so that each part has a little bit of a chance to dry before I revisit it. So I kind of go back and forth from the flowers to the background and add in a bit at a time. But you can see how those flower shapes just sort of come to life after a little bit when adding just some simple brush strokes. And now that those are in and starting to dry, I'm going back in with a lighter value of that green. And you can see it just makes a really nice muted green. I'm also adding a little bit of black to some of it to mute it even more and let it just kind of fade to the background. And I'm also using plenty of yellow to warm up that dark color. So now I'm going to go in with my brush and just make some very basic hints of leaf shapes. And if you're watching, and the key here is really to vary the brush stroke. So you can see I'm kind of moving my hand around, I'm twisting my brush, I'm using the flat side and the edge and just getting different types of marks down there. So there's a lot of variety on the page. And then I'm leaving plenty of space between those so you can still see the darkness coming through from the bottom layer. And we're just going to keep building on that to brighten it up slowly and just work and, you know, kind of take a look at it as you go. And you can kind of determine where some of your next strokes should be, you know, just kind of giving it the eye. I cut out some of my pauses here, but every I don't know, a minute or so, I guess, I kind of stop and look at it and see where I want to add my next strokes so that there's plenty of variety, plenty of different colors of green. And we're starting to get almost like highlight looks. And even though we're still working with pretty dark paint on those leaves, you can really see those different values, the different levels of brightness coming through. So now that I kind of have this mid-tone green that I'm adding, it actually looks really bright on the page. It looks much brighter on that dark background and it really pops. But you can see on the white palette page, it's really not that light of a color. So it really matters what it's next to and how it looks. So I'm just going again, making those sort of random brush strokes, different directions, different angles of my brush, some longer, some shorter, some rounder. And I really love how this is kind of shaping up. And this was a completely unplanned painting, and it turned out to be one of my favorite ones that I've made lately, and it's so easy. So I hope that this gives you something to kind of follow along with if you want to make something like this, because it really is just simple blobs and flower shapes. So I'm adding some more shadows back in, and I'm just grabbing black straight from the palette, and I'm putting it sort of around the flowers. And the reason I'm doing that is to give them kind of a shadowy background to sit on again. And you'll see how it really helps with that flower kind of pop off the page. If you look at that bottom left one compared to the one in the middle that doesn't really have a lot of that darker outline, it really is like a stark contrast. And so I end up adding more of that, I think, to the other areas. But for right now, I'm back on my flower petals. My bottom layer has kind of dried a bit. And so I'm adding a lighter value to all of the areas where I imagine the tips of the petals are. And I'm kind of dragging it down really lightly and kind of feathering it toward the flower centers. And this is almost like, I don't know, kind of a dark painting. So you might imagine that there's maybe a moonlit night or something like that. And I just love the colors and everything in this one. It was so much fun to make. But this is really what kind of helps those flower petals take shape. And I've got, a little bit of a side view where that top flower, you kind of get that one petal peeking up and covering up the center. And they really, really come through once we get some more darkness in the centers. And so I'm just working on making sure that there's plenty of different values. And values is the lightness or darkness of a color, if you didn't know that. And it really makes a big difference when you have a good variety of value. And that's something that I've been really trying to work on for a while, because it is challenging. I tend to gravitate toward mid-tones naturally, but then you kind of end up with a painting that sort of everything looks the same. And as soon as you add shadows to something, and it doesn't matter if it's a realistic painting or if you're just doodling circles, as soon as you add some darker values, it automatically adds some depth. And it's just a really awesome thing to just practice and make sure that, when you're looking at your work that you're creating, or your painting, or your drawing, or your sketch, whatever it is, and you're checking for those variances in values, and that's what really kind of brings things to life. And it doesn't matter how simple or complicated what it is you're making is. So this was really great practice for that. And you can see I'm adding some of that really dark blue purple with even a little bit of black in there, really deepening up the bottoms of those flowers where they might be sitting on top of the leafy background. And then I start adding the dark color to the centers too. So I'm just being careful with my brush, kind of going around where the edges of the petals are so that we can see the inside kind of popping up from the middle, and then it's just adding that depth to the flower and turns it really into a flower. And these are just, these came from blobs. They're so simple, and yet they're just pretty to look at, and I just had so much fun making them. So I'm just kind of looking at it as I go and thinking of what I want to add. And I wanted to bring some more darkness back into the leafy background that I lost, and maybe add a little bit of a hint of maybe some stems or twigs or something like that, or even some deeper shadows behind some of the lighter leaves. So I'm just finding some different opportunities as I look around the paper of where I can add just a little bit of extra darkness and depth. And these are more like line shapes and kind of filling in next to some of those lighter leaf shapes, and it really just adds to the shadows. And now I'm just going really nuts with the brush and I decided to add some purple in there as well. So it's almost like a hint of some other flowers somewhere else in the leaves. And then the last thing to really finish off those values and bring out those petals even more is I'm grabbing a really bright color, and I have mostly white mixed with a little bit of that purple, and it's just very slightly tinted, but it looks white on the page. And I'm just going around the very, very outside edge of those petals and giving them a little bit more of a crisp edge and a hard shape, and that really helps bring them out from those leaves even more. So, and it's not too much brightness. It's, to me, just enough. And I think that really helped just really give them some definition and, define those leaf spaces, or the petal spaces on the flowers, and give them some structure. And I really loved how these ones kind of curled up on the sides, and they just kind of looked very natural at the end. So I love cloud gazing in paint. What can I say? I put some blobs of paint on the paper and you just pick out a shape. Sometimes it's flowers, sometimes it's leaves, sometimes it's a duck, and you just go with it. It's kind of intuitive painting, but it's amazing what you can get by just putting some paint on the paper and getting rid of that blank page. And it's so fun. And here is the finished painting. I'm getting my tape off for you, and I'll give you the close-up so you can see. But I really hope that you grab whatever supplies you have on hand and give this one a try. It's a lot of fun, and it's not anything that is very technical. If you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, and thank you for watching.